You're watching Fugitive Redeye, and welcome to another episode of Redeye Recommends, which is a sub-series of Redeye Raw. And I'm surprised I didn't do one on this before. But today I'll be recommending ScamBaiting channels. If you don't know what ScamBaiting is, well, it has a wide range, but effectively it means disrupting scammers. There are a lot of types of scammers. There's tech support scammers. There's cash advance payment or 419 scammers. There's money flip scammers. There's electrical bill scammers. Amazon refund scammers. There's a lot out there, right? And I've seen my share. And I used to do scam baiting videos on a weekly basis on the channel a couple years ago. Haven't done one in a long time. I plan to do more in the future. It's a lot more difficult to do for a couple of reasons for me. A lot of the sources I use to get scammers' phone numbers just simply aren't really viable anymore. I haven't been having a lot of luck. But on top of that, I get more hours at work now, so it's a lot more difficult to actually have the time to sit down on the phone and call scammers to try and waste their time. Because that's mainly what I did. I also think that there's just better people out there who do it than me. Because there's people who actually infiltrate their call centers by getting on their computers and finding out their location and going after them to the authorities, or replacing their money shipments with glitter bombs. Like, there's a lot of people who have done so much more stuff, and that's why I'm recommending some. I'll get back to it eventually, but there's people who have done some really great things with it, and there's some people that are just a real fun watch. So we'll go in no particular order. We'll start with my personal favorite, at least as far as the ones that just do calls, and that's the Hoax Hotel. The Hoax Hotel is great. He does a few different characters. He does a character named Betty Murphy Grumpus, who's an old lady who drinks a lot of Boone's Farm. And he has this really good knack for going off on tangents that just don't fucking go anywhere. Like, he'll just go on and on and on and on, and he can take forever to say nothing and completely put words together into this nonsensical word salad that doesn't even mean anything and make it sound like he's saying something, at least to the scammers. To us in the audience, it's pretty obvious, but English is typically not the first language of these scammers, so his incoherent ramblings come across as... well, they do come across as incoherent ramblings, but he's so dedicated and good to it that these people don't know how to react to it. So he's great. Another good one is Kit Boga. He has a voice changer that allows him to change his voice to sound like an old lady, or like a Valley Girl type voice, or an old man. His voice changer has a lot of range. He calls them, and he gets them on his computer using a virtual machine, which is a tactic a lot of scam baiters use. He does it really well. He's probably my favorite one who does the virtual machine thing, at least entertainment-wise. We'll get to some of the ones that I actually think have more of an impact later, but these ones are really fun. And they're some of the ones I enjoy watching the most. Another classic one that hasn't really uploaded in a while is IRS Scammers. I used to watch him on a regular basis, but he doesn't really consistently do content that much anymore, so unfortunately he doesn't upload a whole hell of a lot. I'd still recommend subscribing to him, but just know that his content hasn't been consistent for a bit, but such is life. And again, scam baiting is what he did, and consistently doing scam baiting gets difficult over time. Like I said, I used to do it on a weekly basis, then I did one a month, then I did a months apart, then I did like one a year, if that, and now I haven't done one in like a year or two. So, it's definitely hard to stay consistent with it. But another good one is Lewis Tech, same kind of thing. He doesn't typically upload that much anymore. He uploaded a few things this year, if I'm not mistaken. But again, he has long gaps in his uploads now. He also uses a virtual machine, and he's pretty good. And he's pretty good with it too. And in fact, he made his own fake ransomware to show the scammers called Levis Locker. And Levis is because of a mispronunciation or a trend with mispronunciations where a lot of scammers typically pronounce their V's and W's wrong. So he's Lewis, so Levis. but they started to recognize him. And it gets another thing is some scam baiters do tend to get recognized, like Lewis Tech and the Hoax Hotel and them. They have been recognized. Has the Hoax Hotel been recognized? I don't think he has, actually. I don't remember all of them that have, but I've seen them get recognized before. But now on to some of the ones that I feel actually do a hell of a lot more. There's Jim Browning. And what Jim Browning does is he gets into their system, into their computers, goes undercover, deletes their files, gets the names and stuff of their victims, calls them and tells them they've been scammed, or if they're in the process of being scammed, and he'll help them, and he'll take it to the authorities and things like that. They have a lot of moles on the inside of these call centers where they're able to sort of get them to help turn on them. But Jim Browning is one of the ones that does that. Another one that tends to go undercover in a lot of these is Scammer Payback. He does a lot of things too, where he gets their information and gives it over to the appropriate authorities. And he even gets their call centers shut down sometimes, so he does a really good job with that. I know he teamed up with Mark Roper once to do this thing where they sent a scammer a glitter bomb, which, if you don't know what a glitter bomb is, it's not an explosive or anything like that. It literally just shoots glitter out and skunk spray in their car so it smells really awful, or their house, or wherever they open it. So they've done that before. On top of that, Scammer Payback often will give a scammer their own information, right? Like, the scammers will act really tough, and then he'll be like, well, isn't your name this, and this is the facility you're at, and you work for this guy, and your password is this, and, your username is this. He gives them all this information to them, because he harvests that and gives it to the authorities. He's pretty entertaining to watch, too. He also, I believe, has used a voice changer before. I could be wrong on that. I think he has. But he's really good to watch. Now let's talk about some of the 419 scammer ones. There's a lot of those. So some of the ones that do videos on 419 or advanced payment scammers are ScamBait Central. He hasn't done an upload in a while, but I think he does the best with that. He has this character he does named Mr. Pricky, and he'll go and he'll waste their time, and then he has another guy come on. He has this friend that's Nigerian who comes on and pretends to be one of them to, steal the scam from the real scammer, and he'll get on and try to, split it with them, and threaten to tell the quote-unquote victim if they don't come to an understanding. And he plays a character named Mr. Babango. But he's really fun, really, really entertaining to watch. He does this really funny thing where he has this fake, press this number to do this, and no matter what, it goes through the same loop over and over again. That's really entertaining to watch. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. I've watched a ton of scam baiting channels. In all honesty, I think I'm going to probably have to do a part 2 to this, because there's so fucking many. But I think that's probably enough for this video. Anyway, this has been Fugitive Redeye. Have a good one. Toodles.